And then they get the Kufra for them. At this point, this is just a high loss or Badang, some of the best picks that Super Yoshi can go for. If they want to go greedy, they go Jawhead, but with the Kufra on the other side, that's going to be so meh. The high loss and Badang.
This is better for Falcons compared to game one. At least there's two solid sources of early damage.
Yeah, I think
or at least damage in general. The Kagura, you know, just pops people.
Kagura's been doing pretty good lately. I feel like a struggle for a little bit for some teams, but ultimately it's done relatively well so far.
She's a Brawl era standout.
She is. And I'm happy to see it. Again, some of the changes there are some of the newer pickups for the mid lane. Now this last one still for the roam. What are they going to pick up here for Smart Omega to deal with this? Maybe Hylos.
Hylos or Badang. Just one of those two. Unless they're going to go crazy like Franco, but I don't think so.
Welcome to Grog's Castle.
Especially after yesterday's performance by the Mamba.
Forget the dude's an option right now.
After an intense game one, we'll see if Team Falcons can keep it together and get to a game three here. They desperately need it at this point. It's a lot better of a lineup, though. I'll agree there, and I think they should be able to go ahead and make this work again with the good damage in terms of mid and Super Marco later on. But we always have to focus on that early rotation for both of these, and honestly, that Fanny is always a threat from Ryzen if he gets that lead going.
Yeah, Ryzen can either have an amazing game or a terrible game. There's no in-between with this Fanny pick right now. So you see why Kyle TZ is taking some liberty of stopping his rotation just a little bit to mess up with Ryzen, because Ogren and Few are having difficulty trading in the center of the map against the Juicin.
Ooh, an early pick here for the Little Wanderer, and the punish by Smart Omega. Kyle TZ falls, Ryzen finds him. Sneaky Dean, the Barangay first blood.
The Grok and the Fanny combo, man. We just saw it.
With a Tyrant's Revenge. In comes Few looking for the punish. Ryzen dodges it. Great cover by Yoshi.
Well, we were talking about the Rampart, and Ryzen was able to make the most out of it. Kyle TZ deciding to, again, just as I mentioned it, taking liberties with this rotation, he can be a little bit more safe with that.
Yeah.
If his mid laner and roamer are losing the middle trade. Few and Ogren were not that healthy. They just popped the Revitalize so that they can recover some of the damage that they gained just through trading and trying to clear out minion waves alone. The fact that Kyle TZ was pushing out was mistimed.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy too when you think about it. The Grok plus the Jushin, you're not going to be able to do too much in the lane itself in mid, just because who are you going to be able to pick off, you know? And then Grok provides such a good base to work around for the Jushin, so you know you can just continue to do this as we see with the Lantern and everything else. But the fight for the Turtle, this Team Falcons is just going to go ahead and take this.
That's a blitz for Falcons. They score the first major objective, and Smart Omega, again, not sure if it's because of Falcons' placement, they missed out on their level 4s. And they're still missing out on level 4s.
Yeah, Few was also able to throw out a good yin-yang overturn as members of Omega were getting the drops.
Finds Netsky, but Netsky pops the Purify. He's fine.
He's fine. He got the Purify. But as you were saying, you know, too, yeah, some of the level 4s were lacking, but Super Yoshi should have it just a second. They're going to rotate up top here. Ogwen gets his. So, and they'll go back to the lane here. Ryzen, I mean, that's one of the things, though. If he doesn't have the buff here,
Solo kill.
Sneaky Dean strikes. Flap TZ came in maybe a second too late, and where did he use his final slash? Oh, Hogan, this is Super Yoshi. Yoshi with the swing there, and they're barreling on him. Gets that stun, the final slash, uses the tech charge for immunity.
Oh, and he just stands there menacingly.
Yeah, great micro by Super Yoshi, maximizing when he would get the CC immune and even using the tech charge perfectly. So all of the crowd control that Falcons threw at him were immune.
Omega's turn, in comes James and Ryzen. They pick off the Filipino cannon. And here comes Kyle TZ and Few looking for sweet revenge. Ryzen, not gonna get cornered here.
What is this damage that Ryzen already has? You know, 3-0. I knew that we'd see him get off to a good start if he could get an early kill. Now look at this. I mean, he's just basically got a couple items. He didn't even have his first yet.
Yeah, that's an HEF. That's a highly efficient Fanny. He's maximizing all of the adrenaline he gets through the cables, and he just shows up like, cable, damage, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
It's not like the Fanny like before where you can just continuously swing. But again, we were talking about it. The vision the Super Yoshi provides alongside Haji, the crowd control, sets up for Ryzen to just show up when he's needed, deal the damage, and then get out of there.
Yeah, and that's why I think, too, even for Haji picking up this Jushin, it allows him to just kind of hold down that side. It's not like he has to do too much burst or anything else. Super Yoshi's the one that's providing all this information. So it looks like the idea for Smart Omega is give up these early turtles. We don't really need to contest them. They're going to go for another kill here. They don't get it, though.
Uh-oh. Bad positioning. They're caught out, and they're forced to retreat, reposition. Now it's Super Yoshi versus 3. Hits the tech charge onto them, but now he's gonna get smothered by Falcons. Pops that rocket. Here comes the rest of the new guy. 3-man choke, left easy fools, and Ryzen finds Oakland. 2 for 1 the trade. Almost 2,000 gold up, Smart Omega.
I thought the Super Yoshi using the tech charge there was a bit of a waste, but it seems like it just bought the right amount of time. Again, that we mentioned, the strategy, get vision for Ryzen, get vision for the team, and just let the Fanny clean up. This is an evolution to the Fanny that I did not expect. I thought Fanny was dead in the water because it's like, okay, she can't do what she used to do, but now she changed. She's a little bit more precise with her entries.
Okay, James will just go ahead and zone out Team Falcons from this Tier 1 push from Netsky, so Smart Omega will get another turret under the board here. Mid lane going to be the next focus. That's the problem now, too, as we've seen it. Just keep an eye on Super Yoshi where he goes. It's so funny because the previous game, it's really been follow James or go with James, and now Super Yoshi's the one being a lot more proactive. And once it gets down to those fights, the objectives later on, because eventually Smart Omega won't be ignoring the turtles, for example. They'll be joining those fights. And the Grok has been such a good synergy with the Fanny. Even earlier on in that fight in the mid lane, just the rampart alone gives that opportunity to still go ahead and cable on through. So I'm not sure how Team Falcons is going to go in and play against that when it comes to the objectives.
That extra wall seems to be so good for Ryzen. So easier for him. So much easier for him to dish out the combo. Oh, Flap?
That's a 3-man coalition. It's not enough. They pop Netsky from out of nowhere. Tech charge, full combo. James takes down Flap. Here comes Kyle and Ryzen jumping in. But Kyle Easy ain't gonna budge. They are too chunky. A trade for Netsky and Flap. Falcon wins that one.
Wouldn't be nice for Falcons if they had another main damage option. Omega has 2 cores again
with anger. Oh, hold on,
They're not done. James finds Ogwin, bouncing ball through the wall using that Cyclone Eye. And it looks like Falcons is willing to trade this turret up top for the turtle. Ryzen stopping the shenanigans. This is delayed turtle. I think it might turn into a lord.
Yeah,
no, they're pulling it. They're pulling it.
Yeah, they're pulling it. I thought he was actually going to be able to spot Marco there, but yeah, this one they might actually go ahead and contest then. Super Yoshi's going to start it up. Taking a look at the items here real quick, Renmark.
Yep, Marco does have the lead in gold against that Harith. Harith's still on the way to the Feather of Heaven. 2 items already built up for the Moskov. And Falcons give up this turtle. A little bit more resources for Omega. Netsky now able to full build his second item in the FOH.
Okay, so looking at this, knowing that now Smart Omega has a healthy lead here, 3,000 up ahead. So Marcus is okay. He does get back. I didn't know if he'd escape Haji there, but so he goes back. Smart Omega holds on to the lead. They've got a space advantage too. Again, Team Falcons doesn't have a single turret down, which is going to be very troublesome for them if they don't get one in the next minute and a half here. Because again, map advantage for Smart Omega is going to be great, especially with a Fanny across from them. So Team Falcons, I mean, do they just play into the Moskov? Let Super Marco continue to push the side lane most likely to hopefully open up the map at least a little bit and then join the fight with a spear.
They do have to just focus on that strategy to go for it, because clearly without the Moskov, they are lacking damage. Few can burst, but then if the burst doesn't immediately lead to a kill, you hit diminishing returns very quickly.
Sneaky he knows that between Few and Flap, there's not enough CC to lock him down. He's really looking to take down that tier 2 up top.
I think he put enough pressure there, honestly, if he wants to. It's up to Smart Omega. They control this portion of the game.
It's a 2-step. It's for the push down bottom. Look, Falcons are having to chase top and bottom to stop the map from bleeding.
Okay. They keep on to the tier 2s, though. At least those don't go down. But ultimately, nothing too much has happened for Team Falcons in the last minute. And I think they're just going to be in this position where it's like, we got to wait for potentially that Lord to come up and maybe win a team fight. But I'm just worried that they might be lacking.
Oh my goodness.
Charles, what was that?
That's not good. That's not good. Right before the Lord, too. You're 10 seconds away, and now you don't have that. I'm not sure what the idea is to work there, because if you know, that's a huge risk.
That gave me a migraine.
Charles David.
He even committed his flicker for it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The flicker, too.
Like, that's a no. And now I will do my best to move on. Haji has built the Clock of Destiny. He now has 2 items with him. Will make him a little bit more tankier as well. Even more difficult to take down this Juice in, which again adds a little bit more fuel to the strategy that Omega has been playing very well. You just set up for Ryzen to clean things up for you. Falcons, it's gonna demand so much execution for them to make it work, so that Marco enters SOD and then you fight it out. At that point, when Super Marco enters, do you still have enough health and bodies to provide space for that Moskov? Again, you're up against a Grok, a Juice in with the Clock of Destiny quite 10 minutes in, and then a Fanny. You're gonna need to have bodies available for when Super Marco joins in.
Whoa, Ryzen dancing with death here. Kyle and a Flap there, and still decides to apply pressure. Is he that far ahead?
Yeah,
he's pretty ahead.
He is.
Yeah.
It's a 2-level gap. He's fine. That's why he can afford to do that. It's not like a hard catch. It is still quite demanding for even the Shield Unity to mess up the flow of the Fanny. He can afford to just keep doing that because they know that they can't do much to him.
In comes James and Yoshi. A flicker committed by the Super One, and it's all for that tier 2. So long lane setup already for Omega. This Lord is looking better for him.
It's a lot of little steps that I feel like Smart Omega has taken in the past, 2 minutes to go ahead and finally get that tier 2 in the bottom. Nearly there, tier 2 on the top. But notice, even with all this, they just haven't gone and decided, all right, let's go take the Lord or set up around here, because they can play around this advantage that they have in this composition.
Yeah, you gotta appreciate how they've been playing the map, their timings, where they're supposed to be at the right time. Now with Netsky pushing into the bot, it's Super Yoshi help covering for him, so then they swap it out. James is actually holding the middle alongside Haji, while it's Ryzen on the Fanny opening up the map, so they go for a 2-to-1 split. And then they can just be dynamic with it. They can send 4 members to the Lord, wait for Ryzen to push out the bottom a little bit more if the minion waves aren't quite favorable for Omega there. Or they can just do this!
Ryzen puts Few down to 1/3 of his health, pushing back the mid laner from Falcons, and I think this is the go signal for the new Barangay to try. In comes Flap, final slash, knocking him up, and there's the Zaman Force dropped in, down goes Few, SOD. I don't think he's a good target. Oh, you shouldn't. Kyle DZ gets taken out. In comes Marco. He does press it, but the rest of the Barangay answer back. Marco gets taken down by Haji. Ryzen still standing. Flap will not fell him, and that's 4 for none, all for the Barangay.
Same sentiments, Redmore. I did not expect him to follow through the spear, but he did anyway, and they lost 4 members.
Hello, we were just talking about it. If the bodies aren't there for Marco to hold the front line for him, he should not join, he should not fight, and Falcons cannot fight. With the members of Omega being able to bring down the frontliners of Falcons very quickly, that could have just been an instant out.
Yeah.
Maybe push it the mid a little bit more, but the mid did get pushed. Maybe open up the map a little bit more in the bottom to prepare for what is an inevitable Lord push down to the bottom of the map. Him joining there was detrimental. I thought once that he's like, okay, yeah, I can't fight here. But Ogwin decided to enter. He got a big knockup. Marco decided to join CN Poke. The moment he showed his face, Omega knew the job. Omega knew what they needed to do. And with Haji, again, we talked about the Clock of Destiny in his hands. He barely took damage there.
Man, and the reason, like, the way Ryzen survived that too, he didn't even go down.
Yeah. Ryzen's been terrific in this game. Again, his timing and decision making has been perfect in game number 2.
Oh man, this is a tough one for Team Falcons. They're going to be staring down this Lord push here. Bottom side, it's going to go charge on in. And this is a turret for Omega to take.
James coming through, pushing forth, leading up the rest of the Barangay. Dropping the Zaman Force, Netsky dancing all through. Down goes Few. Kyle DZ falls as well. Marco for the back line. But Omega have fixated onto the base. Down goes 4. Flap DZ the only one left. Smart Omega, it's just a matter of time. That's a wipeout, a maniac for Netsky and the Barangay.